Have you ever found yourself trapped in a spiral of negative thoughts? You know, those moments when your mind just won't stop replaying a mistake, worrying about the future, or criticizing yourself. It feels like you're stuck in a storm with no escape. If this sounds familiar, you're not alone. But what if I told you there's a simple, ancient wisdom that can help you find calm amidst that chaos? Today, we are going to explore a profound Buddhist story that offers a powerful lesson on how to deal with these mental intruders. There once was a young monk who was deeply troubled. No matter how much he meditated or studied, his mind was constantly filled with anxious and self-critical thoughts. He felt like a failure, convinced he wasn't cut out for the monastic life. Desperate for a solution, he went to his wise old master. "Master," he said, his voice trembling, "my mind is my worst enemy. It's a constant barrage of negativity, telling me I'm not good enough, that I'll never find peace. I try to fight these thoughts, to push them away, but they only come back stronger. How can I silence them?" The master listened patiently, a gentle smile on his face. Instead of offering a complex philosophical answer, he simply said, "Follow me." He led the young monk to a small, serene pond at the edge of the monastery garden. The water was crystal clear, and you could see the smooth pebbles at the bottom. The master picked up a handful of mud and tossed it right into the center of the pond. Immediately, the clear water turned murky and brown. The beautiful reflection of the sky was gone, and the pebbles at the bottom vanished from sight. "Look," the master said, "your mind is like this pond. When negative thoughts arise, it's like this mud being thrown into the water. Your instinct is to jump in and try to scoop out the mud, to fight the murkiness. But what happens when you do that?" The young monk thought for a moment. "Well, I would just stir it up even more, making the water even dirtier." "Exactly," the master replied. "The more you struggle against the mud, the more you agitate the water. Fighting your negative thoughts, trying to force them out, gives them more power. You become entangled in the struggle, and the clarity you seek moves further away." He gestured for the young monk to sit beside him on the grass. "So, what should we do?" the master asked softly. The young monk was puzzled. "I don't know, master. Do we just leave it muddy forever?" "No," the master said calmly. "We do nothing. We simply sit and we watch. We let the pond be." So they sat in silence, just observing the pond. For a while, nothing seemed to happen. The water remained cloudy. But slowly, ever so slowly, the particles of mud began to settle. Gravity did its work, and the mud gently sank to the bottom. After about an hour, the water was once again crystal clear. The pebbles reappeared, and the surface perfectly mirrored the blue sky and the passing clouds. The master turned to the young monk, his eyes twinkling. "Did you see? We didn't fight the mud. We didn't try to remove it. We simply allowed it to be, and with time and stillness, it settled on its own. Your thoughts are the same. They are not you. They are just events in your mind, like clouds passing in the sky or mud in a pond." This story beautifully illustrates the core of Buddhist teachings on mindfulness. It's not about silencing your thoughts. It's about changing your relationship with them. This is where the famous 2 arrows metaphor comes in. The Buddha taught that, in life, we will inevitably be struck by a first arrow. This could be a painful event, a difficult situation, or even just a random negative thought popping into your head. It's unavoidable. Pain is a part of life. But the real suffering, the second arrow, is the one we shoot at ourselves. This is our reaction to the first arrow. It's the judgment, the rumination, the self-criticism. Why did this happen to me? I'm such an idiot for making that mistake. This feeling will never end. This second arrow is optional. We don't have to shoot it. Mindfulness is the practice of noticing the first arrow without firing the second. It's about acknowledging the pain or the negative thought without getting caught up in the story our mind creates around it. It's about letting the mud settle. So, how can we apply this in our daily lives? Here are a few practical steps. First, practice mindful awareness. This is the act of becoming an observer of your own mind. You can start with a simple exercise. Sit comfortably, close your eyes, and just notice your thoughts as they arise. Don't judge them, don't analyze them, and don't push them away. Imagine you're sitting on the bank of a river, and your thoughts are leaves floating by. Some are pleasant, some are not. Your job is not to jump into the river and grab the leaves, but simply to watch them float past. A thought about your to-do list? Acknowledge it. A memory from your childhood? Let it be. A wave of anxiety? Notice the feeling in your body. Just observe. This creates a space between you and your thoughts. You begin to realize you are not your thoughts. You are the awareness behind them. Second, label your thoughts. When you notice a negative thought pattern emerging, give it a simple, non-judgmental label. For example, if you're worrying about a future event, you can say to yourself, this is worrying. If you're criticizing yourself, you can label it judging or self-criticism. This simple act of naming it helps to depersonalize the thought. It transforms it from an undeniable truth into a temporary mental event. It's like seeing the mud enter the pond and saying, "Oh, look, mud," instead of immediately identifying with the murkiness. Third, bring your attention back to the present moment. Our negative thoughts often drag us into the past, rehashing old regrets, or into the future, creating anxious scenarios. The most powerful antidote to this is to ground yourself in the now. You can do this by focusing on your senses. What are 5 things you can see right now? What are 4 things you can feel? The chair beneath you, the air on your skin. What are 3 things you can hear? 2 things you can smell? And 1 thing you can taste? This simple sensory exercise yanks your mind out of the thought spiral and plants it firmly in the reality of the present moment, where things are usually okay. Another powerful technique is focusing on your breath. Your breath is always with you, and it's always happening in the present. When you feel overwhelmed, just take a few moments to notice the sensation of the air entering your nostrils, filling your lungs, and then leaving your body. This acts as an anchor, holding you steady when the waters of your mind get choppy. Remember, this is a practice. It's not a one-time fix. Just like the young monk, you won't become a master overnight. There will be days when the pond of your mind is incredibly muddy, and you'll forget everything and jump right in to struggle with the mud. That's okay. That's part of the process. The key is to be compassionate with yourself. When you realize you're struggling, gently guide yourself back to the shore. Sit down, take a breath, and just watch. Allow the mud to settle. The beauty of this approach is that it doesn't promise a life free of negative thoughts. That's unrealistic. Instead, it offers freedom from the suffering that those thoughts can cause. It teaches you that you have the power to choose how you respond. You can learn to let thoughts come and go without letting them define your reality or steal your peace. So, the next time you find yourself caught in a mental storm, remember the story of the master and the muddy pond. Don't fight the thoughts. Don't try to force them out. Just sit by the shore of your mind, be still, and trust that with patience and awareness, the waters will clear again. You are the sky, not the clouds. The clarity you seek is already within you, just waiting for the mud to settle. Thank you for joining me on this journey today. If this story resonated with you, please consider liking this video and subscribing for more content on mindfulness and personal growth. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Take care and be kind to your mind.